Transitioning to the band, I want to recognize both of our band and orchestra students. If you participated in the ISPA Solo and Ensemble contest for band or orchestra, would you please stand up if you recognize?
Let's go, Evan.
And we had a couple students that finished high school level group 1 contest. So that was, I think we had band and orchestra students. So if you went group 1, would you stand up or wave for us? And both of them got gold.
Good job,
Emmett. We had 3 district and 2 state, so all 3 of those students, very nice. That's insane for a middle school or any middle school to get that. So, and then if you were involved in honors orchestra, so we'll recognize each of those 3 as honors orchestra. That's supposed to be right. There you go. Good job with that one. If you did an honor band this last fall where you went to that school and learned all those pieces, please stand up. And then we'll just go through our little laundry list of groups that you were in. If you were in a pep band, could you stand up? Those students play at basketball games. If you were involved in show choir band or show choir, would you please stand? Very good season for our show choir there. If you're involved in jazz band, Alright, thank you guys. See, so lots of things in my list. I think Harris Campbell, and then all of our 8th grade band and orchestra students and our choir program clean sweep that gold at contest for our full group. So very, very good, successful year for our performing arts department here. On to our band program. Our first piece is the theme from Back to the Future. We had to kind of culture what that movie series was. So we learned what the DeLorean was, and that is my favorite series, so we are going to get to watch that in class. So here is Back to the Future.
Bye-bye, Jacob.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
And keeping up with the era of music before their time, next will be our Bohemian Rhapsody, made famous by Queen. Although I was surprised they did know this one, they were singing along with it. Supposed to
We did that.
Others were getting weird looks when we were all singing along with it. Here is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Hold on. Hold on. There you go. There's my other copy of Warrior Legacy. There it is.
Thank you again for coming out this evening. Our last piece is always a fun one. We combine our 8th grade band and orchestra. This piece is called Warrior Legacy, hoping to leave a legacy for our future students here at East Middle School.
doing the flamingo.
My hand's awesome. Look at my leg. Flamingo. Flamingo. My hands are numb. I shouldn't be holding this like I am. We low-key could. We low-key could. Hooray!
I can't speak for these two, but I am so blessed to work with incredible students here. So thank you for a really awesome concert, all 8th grade students. At this time, we're going to ask all of the